Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is brought to you by the Friends in Recovery community, a thriving network of individuals who are fighting back against the stigma of addiction. Join our hosts as they speak up about the real issues of addiction, treatment, and recovery. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, here are your friends in recovery.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Friends in Recovery podcast. I'm your host, Jersey Ed, along with my co-host, Buckeye Bambi. What's up, Buckeye Bambi?
Nothing. It's going to be a beautiful day here. I'm so excited. The whole weekend is going to be 80 and sunny here. So.
Wow. Look at you with your microphone like up in the air. And
I know.
like,
if I had a stand, or a little hand, it would be better. But, someone hasn't mailed it to me yet.
Well, that is our shipping and receiving department here at Friends in Recovery. That is slacking.
We need to hire someone better for that because they're not doing so well.
I'm going to have a talk with the manager over there in shipping and receiving. So, this is a huge operation here. We have all kinds of departments. I would probably have to fly to Honolulu where our shipping and receiving department is located. So
I'll do that.
You take care of that. Okay. Ben.
Let me just book the ticket. I'll pick up my own mic from Honolulu and bring it right back.
That's it. So good. Well, if anybody would like to get a hold of us here on the show, it's 800 phone call. If you want to call us, it's 800 989 6504. That's a non-emergency number. And if you want to email us, the email address for the show is friendsinrecoverycommunity@gmail.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's what it is, friendsinrecoverycommunity@gmail.com. And our individual emails will pop up. Carl will put them up. And if you are not watching on YouTube or Facebook, you fucking should. And if you're not, then look in the show notes because will be all in there. And you know what's really cool, guys, about show notes? Like this studio that we use, I don't know if you noticed it, Bambi, but it automatically generates notes.
Yeah.
That is so wild. Like
it's the best thing ever because I used to have to type them.
I know. You used to, absolutely. And it's like real professional. It's like, the host said that, you're smoking. I'm like, what? I said that? Like, maybe
they improve. Maybe they improve our show.
Yeah, they improve our show. So don't listen to the show. Just read the notes. That's all. Because we sound much more intelligent than on the show notes from AI than talking. So, anyways, so that's it. Just get a hold of us there. Our website is friendsinrecoverycommunity.org. Like, subscribe, share, smash the what button, the alerts button or something.
Turn the notification bell on.
Turn it on, guys, because we are here and you'll get us every Tuesday morning around, I think 7:00 it goes up. So, our last show, Bambi, was great. I think was one of our better ones that we did. Yeah. I think we called it phone addiction. And,
it was.
Yeah. And we took on a challenge, called Screenless Sundays. And that was our second week. The first week we reported on it. So we've been through our second week of Screenless Sundays. And I'm going to give you my report first.
Okay.
And then we'll get into our topic. Today's show is going to be called The Power of Choice, I believe. That's what we're going to call it. But what I realized is that Screenless Sundays is great. But it's nowadays it's almost impossible to do. Right? Almost impossible. Yes. It's not impossible, but with work and our phones being the only way to communicate, we don't have any house phones. Email you can communicate on, but still, you still have to look at a screen.
Look at a screen.
And you can ask Alexa to read your messages or whatever, but if you're in the car or whatever, I mean, you got to look at it. So I was dealing with a work situation last week and I felt guilty, but I'm like, you know what? I went 5 hours already without looking at any screen, right? And I had to help this client. I had to help do whatever we had to do. And it worked out good. Everything happened, but I was probably looking at the screen maybe 5 or 6 times and looking at an email, maybe, whatever, and on the phone. But what I realized is it's not about being screenless. It's about cutting it back, right? It's about like, it's okay to have a jelly bean, but not the whole fucking bowl of jelly beans, right? I mean, that's what it's really about. So, I was beating myself up. I have to go tell everybody on the show. And I'm like, well, let's look at this logically and like see what it is. And I can see 100% it's definitely cut down. Weekends are cut down anyways because of work, but still it's nice to know that, I'm not taking my iWatch or my Apple Watch or whatever the hell it is. I'm just wearing my regular watch instead. So that's cutting back instead of going like this all the time, look like this. And who's texting me or who's calling me instead of, so, so that's kind of my thoughts on our screenless Sundays. It's cut it down to almost minimal Sundays, I guess. I don't know. How did you do this week?
Exactly the same. I had my thing is in the mornings because I have to post our meetings, and I thought, okay, I'm sending them to Matt. I sent him the pictures of what he needed to post, but guess what? It takes an administrator to approve them.
Oh, yeah. So you have to do it.
So I had to do it. It made no sense at all. So I posted them. There was, I'm getting one of our members out a letter for the court system. And so I had to touch base with her at the same time I'd promised to at that day. And then I sent you and Stacy a text. After that, I put my phone away. So that was about before 10 because we were at the beach by 10, we were at the beach. I read an entire book between the beach that day and the next day because I didn't pick up my phone at all until Matt's meeting. And I posted for the evening meeting. We were still at the beach when I posted. Okay. And then I went on the meeting at night, but that was it. So still, like you say, some of them is just, you can't just cut out 100%, No. I mean, you just can't. And do you remember like cruises? You used to not be able to get Wi-Fi on the cruises and stuff. Yeah. And you were truly screenless, right? Yeah. And you had to tell everyone ahead of time, I'm not going to be available. I'm going on a cruise. I won't be able to get back with you. That was truly screenless. But I think as far as being aware of it, it's so much better. Oh my gosh. And it does make me more aware, like Beth had said last week, it makes me more aware through the week as well of the nonsense stuff that I do after that one day of purposeful putting it down.
Yeah. And it's like our drinking. Like once you go to an AA meeting or go into treatment, you're aware of it. And, and then that's it. If you relapse or whatever, which unfortunately it happens, but, now you're kind of aware of it and there's a better chance that hopefully you're going to come back and not, not stay out there. But it definitely makes you aware of everything. It makes you figure out, like life is okay to, to do things in moderation. Right.
Right.
Now, I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's still better. I mean, come on, just the awareness is so much better. And I really enjoy reading a physical book. Holding it in my hand, smelling the, really, it was really, Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm thinking about books. Let's listen to this first.
Are you a rebel seeking transformation in your recovery journey? Then 366 fucking days sober is the book for you. 366 daily meditations. This book by the SoberPod Recovery podcast host and professional rebel, Carl, will help guide you towards a new way of thinking and living. Each daily meditation offers a fresh perspective, practical advice, and a healthy dose of Carl's irreverent humor to help you stay sober and embrace the challenges of life without drinking, drugging, or shitting your pants. Whether you're just starting your recovery journey or looking for a daily dose of encouragement and laughs, 366 fucking days sober is the book for you. So, if you're ready to transform your life and become the rebel you were meant to be, get your copy of 366 fucking days sober. Today. Available today on Amazon.com.
All right, guys, get that book. And I think, Bambi, you're going to read from that book now.
I am.
Perfect. Like the commercial comes on, tells us about the book, and you don't shit your pants and all that stuff. And now we're going to read from the book, right? How perfect is that? So,
all right, let's talk some powerlessness.
All right, let's do it, Bambi.
When we talk about powerlessness in recovery, we tend to ignore the other side of the concept, being powerful. Sure, you are powerless over alcohol and drugs, no shit. If you weren't, you wouldn't be reading this book. But have you thought about what you have power over? We have so much potential that goes unused and unrealized in our lives as addicts and alcoholics. So much power is wasted. We have the power of choice today that we did not have in our active drinking and using. We have the power of rational thought and actions to match. These things were never in our grasp at the lash of alcohol and drugs. Today, you can use your power in ways you never could. So get out there and score. Dunk that goal. Swing for the goalpost. Hit a touchdown or whatever. The reflection for today. What power do you have today that you should be accessing but don't? And why not? And the daily challenge. Ask someone you love what is one thing you could do today to help improve their life.
I love this reading. So far, it's
that's a good one.
Favorite reading out of the whole book. Except for, I think, well, I was talking to Carl the other day. I'll talk about the meeting, the reading in a minute, but what the hell? Oh, Giving Back. There was an April 9th. I don't know if we read it on here or not. No, I don't think we did. But he said, me, my sponsor, and myself inspired that writing for him, that reading. Oh. So read April 9th, and I don't know. That's what he said. Who knows? He might just been, I don't know, whatever. But guys, we're reading from 366 fucking days sober. You heard the commercial before. Go buy the book. I read this thing every single day. I know Bambi is using it on the meetings, and it's just an amazing book. So, yeah. So anyways,
I wouldn't know what to do without that book to host my meetings now. He's got anyone out there that hosts meetings or chairs meetings and needs a topic, you need this book because everybody's heard the daily reflections, right? Everyone's done that. Everyone has done a step meeting. Everyone has done the big book study, which are all amazing meetings. But if you need a unique topic to throw out there because you're just tired of everyone doing a gratitude meeting or then you need this book. Because the topics are real.
Absolutely. They are real. And they're, life experiences too from Carl and from like who he's, it's kind of like the daily reflections, but in another kind of view. And guys, also there's a lot of, as Carl says, cuss words in there. I say curse words. But Bambi does an amazing job on our Saturday morning meeting to not have any of those words in there. And you can use the book kind of cleanly too, if you're for rehab or a treatment center or I don't know, your meeting or whatever, you can kind of clean it up and read it. Now, it is not an official AA literature, but maybe one day it will be, who knows?
Right. And, I paraphrase. Now, because of the cover, what you need to do is remember when we used to wrap our books in paper bags?
Yeah.
You too can wrap this book and nobody will know that you're reading from 366 days fucking sober,
That's right, exactly. So, but, that reading is good. The power of choice. I want to call this the power of choice because, as the reading said, we're powerless over, right? We're really only powerless over alcohol.
Absolutely.
That our lives have become remembered. That's step one, right?
Yes.
Or whatever your addiction is, we're not powerless over every part of our life. I think that is, and this reading again is great because everybody says you're powerless over everything. No, we're not powerless over everything, and that's, people could get stuck like, oh my God, I can't make a decision without asking my sponsor. I can't make a decision without, well, maybe at the beginning you don't make a decision without asking your sponsor, but this program is to free us from that fear, free us from that, like straight laced thinking or whatever, kind of single lane thinking, whatever you want to call it, to, okay, I'm going to make decisions. Okay, I'm going to talk about this. Okay, so if I made the wrong decision, it's okay. We just adjust and keep moving on. I think I was sharing on the meeting this morning about it. And that's what this is about, is giving us the power to take our lives back by being powerless, if that makes sense. Right.
Yeah, it's given me my power back. I mean, truly, by being powerless and admitting that on a daily basis, I now have the power to fulfill my day with good and put positivity out into the world instead of negativity. I mean, what was I putting out into the world when I'm sitting there with a box of wine by the bed, watching reruns that I won't even remember on TV of crime shows? What was I putting out? Now it's given me the power to put out good things in my life and to create my own next step. I don't want to say like destiny, because I do think our higher power has a little something to do with that, our destiny. But I truly believe that it has given me back power, not taken it away,
And he says here, we have so much potential that goes unused and unrealized in our lives as addicts and alcoholics. So much is wasted. So much power is wasted, right? Because we're afraid to take that next step, because maybe we didn't work the steps as hard as we should have, And if we work the steps, I believe we can take that power back. I mean, if you think at the end, what's step 12? We're giving back,
Give
right?
it back.
I mean, that if that's not power, makes you feel really good because I got something, now I'm going to give it away. That's not powerlessness. That's being very empowered. I shouldn't say empowered. Maybe empowered is the better word for that. But being empowered to say, hey, listen, I'm an alcoholic and addict, and this is what saved me, and I can show you how it's done. It's very easy, 12 steps,
Right. And, and by showing other people how it's done, it's like, you have the power to actually look within yourself. Did you have the power to truly analyze yourself when you were out drinking or drugging? It was never my fault, and now we get to look every day at what we've done throughout the day and kind of put a little checklist of the good and the bad and the things we can improve. And so we have the power to truly look deep within ourselves, which I know I had no power over that when I was drinking because I was always right.
It's called the conscience, right? Isn't that what they call it?
Yes.
I think that's what they call it now. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, listen, if we make a mistake and we own up to it and we move on, that's being very empowered. That's empowering another person too. Say, hey, listen, dude, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. And that helps any relationship. I don't care if it's friends, if it's family, if it's loved ones, if it's a spouse, whatever it is, it helps when we can, admit our mistakes and move on,
Right.
And when we can't do that, that's when, we sit back in that fear. We sit back in that, being like, closed-minded, and I think in early recovery is different. I don't know. I mean, I didn't want any power in early recovery, right? Because I knew if I got that power, or I would have used it wrong, probably.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I would have not understood it, probably.
Right.
So I stayed that powerless. And that powerless over alcohol, step one. Let me just stay powerless over this drug or drink for now, and then let me have my higher power kind of take me out of the shell, and then let me have somebody bring me into the next step, and let me apologize, and let me move on, let me do this, let me do that, and then let me give back.
Right.
So I think we get empowered very slowly through these steps.
Absolutely.
It's funny when I hear people, and I know they're full of shit. I did 12 steps already. I just blew right through them. Well, how long you been sober? Oh, I have 30 days. And you did all fucking 12 steps in 30 days. Okay, dude. I mean, listen, God bless you if you can, but usually those people are just bullshitting somebody along the way. And, I don't know. It's just hard for me to understand that. I mean, I didn't start working the steps probably a good 7 years until my sobriety. I mean, I knew what they were, and I knew how to work around them and live around them and talk about them, but I never really got into, went to step 1, 2, and 3. I mean, obviously, that's kind of the base for our program, but 4, 5, and 6, that's when I probably started really digging deep into it, because that's when I was ready. Some people are like, oh my God, I'm not working the steps. No, you are. It's okay what you're doing, but if you want to grow and get to the next level, we have to look at the steps in a different way, right?
Right.
If you're going to meetings, calling your sponsor, staying away from a drink and drug, not having the ego, not having any of that stuff, you're kind of working the steps in the program, But if you want to flourish and get to the next level and help people and sponsor people, that's where that comes in. That's the power. That's how that power that comes into. Now, I'm not saying power over others, but that you're empowering yourself to empower others.
Right. Now, when I was in one of my rehabs, one of my mini rehabs, there was you could pick different classes, and one of the classes I picked was like the original 12 steps,
Was
and they
I
gave us
in
what?
makeup and artistry? Was that your class?
Yes, yes. Of course.
Sorry.
No, they it was the way that the 12 steps were done back in the beginning. And do you know that it was meant to be done over a long weekend,
Yes.
over
Yeah.
a week at the most? You know, that's the way when Bill and Bob started out doing it, they went through those 12 steps like boom, 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 boom. But that doesn't mean that you stop there. Then you go back. So the way we learned was like when you do your 4-step, okay, you're going to put down your glaring character defects, okay? Your glaring resentments, your glaring fears. You're going to put down the glaring ones. Then after you work through those, then you're going to go back through again and you're going to pick some more, you know, and you're going to keep working, right? You're going to keep working it. So we did those 12 steps in this class during the month that I was there. You know, we had the class like maybe 3 days a week, and we did those 12 steps. But truly, did I get anything out of it? You know, I think that was the when they released me, I think I went right into a Publix and bought a box of wine, you know. So, you know, and maybe it worked back then in those days. For me, it took me, you know, now I really did work the program hard, but it took me, I think I got through my 12 steps in 8 months.
Okay.
But I mean, you know, and that wasn't my only time through it, of course, you know, but I did it in 8 months, and I felt like, for me, I was ready for that. But I had been in and out of treatment for 2 years.
Yeah.
So
and it depends on what's going on in your life, and you know, like distractions, and maybe you're not ready. I mean, you know, and just because, you know, I hear it all the time that, you know, I didn't work the steps yet. That's okay. You know, let's look at, you are working step 1, 2, and 3. You're coming to meetings every day. You're believing in a higher power better than what you did before, and you know, all that stuff. So we are working the steps. It's just we have to get with somebody. And here in the book, in the reading, he says we have the power of rational thought and actions to match. Right. Right. I love that too. That the power of rational thought versus, you know, crazy thought, and the
crazy thought.
Right. Yeah. So even working step 1, 2, and 3 and not really getting into it, that's rational thought, right? And the action to match. You're staying sober, you're going to meetings, you're doing all that, and that all kind of works all together. Now, if you want to take the next step where it says, let's say, daily challenge, ask someone you love, what is the thing you could do to help them improve their life today? Now, you know, 30 days into my program, I don't with no shape to help anybody with anything.
No.
You know, so, but as you go through these things and you want to grow and you want to learn and you want to give back, that's where this comes in today. You know, that's where that comes in once we get those rational thoughts and the actions to match. And that's when people start seeing, you know, like people are like, oh, he or she doesn't think I'm doing well. Well, the actions have to meet, you know, the actions have to meet the thoughts.
Right.
And, you know, these people know who we were, what we did in the past.
Right.
And if our actions aren't exactly, you know, glaring actions, like you said, we have to really be out there, because we were really, really, really out there when our glaring actions, when we were fucking drinking, right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, just because you're sober 30 days or 50 days or 100, whatever, or 30 years, whatever it is, if you're not acting as a sober person, it ain't fucking, nobody's going to believe you anyway,
right.
You know?
Right.
And that I struggled with too in some parts of my recovery, and we all struggle with everything,
sure.
You know, and, but if we can, you know, kind of, I would say we, but if I can take that power of choice and use it the right way, and, you know, and then understand that I can, like it says, help somebody, or, you know, what do I think I have power over today versus powerlessness over today? You know, the power I have today over is that I'm choosing to come onto a meeting. I'm choosing to come onto a podcast. I'm choosing not to pick up a drink today. That's the power I have in me today. The powerlessness is, if I pick up the fucking drink, what's going to happen? I'm powerless over the drink.
Right.
And then the power's gone. Powerless, right? because when we were drinking, we were powerless also. if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And, for me, when you think about actions and rational thoughts too, just like in the reading, I can bring everything back to the promises almost in the big book, because you will intuitively know how to handle things that used to baffle you.
Mm-hmm.
That's your rational thought coming through to me.
Mm-hmm.
Did I have a rational thought when I was, a box in? No, so those kind of things come to me now. I am able to, just in my everyday life, I can communicate with people better. I make better decisions, and that's all part of action. Part of the promises coming true.
Yeah, and intuitively knowing that, whatever that is. But when I was drinking, I intuitively knew things, like when I had to go see the dope man, when I had to go to the fucking bar, when I had to go steal from somebody. But that was not, that's not good. I don't suggest anybody do that.
No. Yeah, I knew when to call my Instacart driver. Hey, I need 3 more boxes of wine,
Oh my! Well, you would have alcohol delivered to you?
Oh yeah, well, let me tell you how that whole thing happened. My first rehab I went to, right? We decided that one of my triggers was that you could go into any store in Florida. You could go into any store possible, and even the dollar store sells alcohol, And I would be really triggered by looking at the display cases and seeing the wine in the front of the store and seeing the alcohol everywhere. So my counselor says, "Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to, you're not going to go get your groceries. You're going to have them delivered. So, that way you don't have to go in, at least for the first month," he said, and then, a little exposure therapy. You go just to get something from the produce, or you go, but everything else, well, it wasn't long till I realized that my Instacart driver would bring me boxes of wine on demand. As long as I had a license.
Alcohol and Instacart, it's right at the top. I can hit it and boom. Right. I always start off in the A's anyways.
Up. Yeah, it like pops up to remind you that you can get your alcohol or whatever else,
my God.
So second rehab didn't suggest that again.
That's pretty good. When I quit drinking, we didn't have any of that. I mean, pizza delivery, and that was it. Really, I was really that. And Chinese would deliver too, but now you get anything delivered. And
COVID did that for us.
True.
I mean, COVID did a lot of bad shit, but you can get anything delivered to you. What I'm not sure that's good stuff either, actually, because if you're if you're an agoraphobic or something, maybe it would be good. But the rest of us need that interaction of once in a while going out and not having everything delivered.
Exactly.
But
what did we say? Everything in moderation. There's nothing wrong with getting stuff delivered, but if you're going to sit in your house for the rest of your life and not come out, and that's a problem. I mean, the shit is a problem, And yeah, I mean, we can, I know me as an addict and alcoholic, and just as a human being, I can complicate anything to make it a problem. I can complicate water, right? Like a bottle of water, I can complicate this to make it a problem. And I'll tell you how that I didn't do it, but I seen my grandfather do it. My grandfather wasn't in recovery. He didn't have a drinking problem or anything, but in the back of my head, it keeps me understanding you can abuse anything. He had to go to the hospital, and this was years ago, because now you're a nurse, and tell me if this is right or wrong. He drank too much water that it wiped out all his electrolytes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that possible?
Do that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, he was drinking a lot of water. I mean, and it was warm, so he would just chug the bottles down. So he was in the hospital for doing that. And there's something that we have to sustain ourselves on, that we have to have to survive, that he almost killed him.
Yeah, your sodium and potassium levels are, definitely affected. Now, you have to drink a lot because our bodies naturally kind of regulate those sodium potassium levels. But you can deplete your sodium, and you'll have a lot of symptoms. Yeah. So, and I drink a ton of water, but that's never happened because, and today, with the electrolytes you can add or that are added to so many different things, and people back then probably didn't add a lot of salt to their food like we do now. They don't, the packaged food, all of that has tons of sodium. But if you're eating from the earth, you're eating natural whole grain fruits, veggies, meat that's not been processed, then you don't have that sodium automatically in it.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, foods nowadays, and this is how to be before my recovery. It had to be when I was a younger kid.
Yeah.
So you're talking 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, the like you said, the packaging wasn't, you know, it's salts and everything. You know, I don't think we'll ever, I don't think we'll ever like kill our sodium level, especially if you eat McDonald's every fucking day. You'll kill your heart, but, you know, but not our sodium levels. So I was out to Dan, he's not on here. He was supposed to come on. And Beth, no, everybody just fucking bailed. Like
they bailed.
I know. I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm like, yeah, fuck, I'm going to say something. Like, everybody's bailed, right? Beth gives us a half-assed excuse about some quilting show. Sure, Beth.
Yeah.
Okay.
A quilting show.
Come on.
Don't you know she should be doing that on Screenless Sunday?
That's right. A quilting show on Screenless Sundays. So my first thought was when you said she's not coming on, the last text from Beth, because we have a text thread for the podcast crew here, and it was from another show. She said, I gave a plug to Friends in Recovery. I'm thinking, maybe she's on, you know, the fucking thinking goes.
She deserted us.
She deserted us and she's on this new podcast, like, you know. and we just sent her, and Hawaii just sent her a microphone too.
That's right. I should have went and got hers. Damn.
You should have. I know. You could take 2 trips. One to get yours, one to get hers.
I know, right?
Yes, the shipping office is in Honolulu, Hawaii, guys, if you want to go check it out for Friends in Recovery. Oh, my God. Oh, have we ever I'm going to shift total gears here. Did we ever have anybody on our daily meetings, what we do at 7 p.m. and noontime daily every day at Eastern Time? You can find them on our web. It's just a way to plug our meetings.
Meetings are great, y'all. You got to go check them out. Go to our website. Go to our Facebook page. We list them. I mean, it's truly they're great meetings and a great community. Best community.
AA.org. Yeah, it really is. If you want to get involved and you know, just. But what I was gonna. Have we ever had anybody on from Hawaii?
Yeah, we have a guy named Bill who actually. Really? He talks in our threads all the time. He keeps on the Facebook page thread. He keeps our it going all the time. He's always talking. His name is Bill K, I think. And but he's always doing that, and he's come on some of our meetings. And since his time difference, you know, he's got the time difference. You know, he tends to go to the ones in Hawaii, but he posts. He even advertises on our group some of those meetings when he's going to speak. Or
so we do have somebody from Hawaii. I know we have international. I think we have 2 people from Germany on now, right? If I'm not mistaken.
And England, Canada.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Australia for a while. We had somebody from Australia, I believe. I think, didn't we?
Yeah, and South Africa, we've had quite a few. And lately, our noon meetings have been getting quite a bit of international people. I mean, they're UK mostly, but yeah,
guys. So if you go to our website, friendsinrecoverycommunity.org, you can jump on a meeting that way. AA.org, right, or Intergroup. Intergroup. Mm-hmm. And you just find the meeting, just search Friends in Recovery Community. Is that what it is? Because there is another Friends in Recovery out there.
Correct. But if you go to just Friends in Recovery, you're going to get the South Africa group, which are a great group as well. Yeah. But, you know, my heart belongs to Friends in Recovery Community. That's right. And you can find us Facebook page, our website, Intergroup, you know, all the places. So
think about, we're just talking about that, the power of choice.
Yeah.
Right. Think of all those choices that you just said we can stay sober at.
Right.
Now, if we were powerless, we wouldn't make those decisions to be on any of those, you know, to go to Facebook, to go to Instagram. What's the thing that we use? The text thread. What is that?
My dogs are going crazy, so I'm mute in a minute.
That's all right. The Telegram thread. We have a Telegram thread too, right? That we can share information on. So that is the power of choice today, right? And listen, we have the power to drink too. We have the choice. We have that choice also to drink too, but we know the consequences. Right. And that's where I have to understand that the powerlessness comes in over my drinking. So the power not to drink, also, you know, all that stuff we have to, you know, but I like the choices that I have in life today. The choices to stay sober, the choices to be a kind human being, you know, to be happy. I think we were talking about being happy today. And I love the comment that one of our guys said, I'm not going to be happy if I get into a car accident and say, hey, how's it going? It's true. We're not happy all the time, but I choose today, the power of choice today for me is to be happy over being miserable, be happy over being sad, over being negative, be positive over negative. And, I try to use that in every situation.
Right. And happiness, like we also said, is not defined by, this Pollyanna kind of thing. It's having some peace and calm, someone said, between the ears, just having to not be in turmoil, And if I choose to pick up that, I know what's waiting: jails, institutions, and death, right? So to maybe not be happy every single day, but to not be going crazy in my brain is, I'll take that form of happiness any day.
And that is happiness. It's like, because if we're not right in our head, then we're not going to be right in the world. Right.
Right.
And I got to make sure I'm right in my head, because I know 9 times out of 10 when I'm not right in the world, it's because it's my thinking, because maybe I didn't talk to somebody, because maybe I didn't, kind of have somebody help me think this through. I always hear everybody say the most dangerous place is to be in my head alone. And it's true. At first I'm like, what are they talking? How you can't be in your head alone? Oh, yeah, you can be in your head alone. I mean, in a room full of people, you can be in your head alone, and you have to, I have to come out of that and just, kind of understand. So, Bam, I'm going to ask you a question before we leave here, because I can, because I'm the host of the show.
You can, because you're allowed.
That's right. So the reflections question today, I think that's a great question. What power do you have today that you should be accessing but don't, and why not?
I would say that I have the power to get more accomplished in the day. And, there are just too many times, and I realize there's too many times when I don't use that time wisely. And of course there's times when you just need to do nothing and go to the beach, right? I mean, there are those times, and that's the power to choose that's when I need to do it. But there is still a lot of time that I do not put good use to my time. And but I have the power to choose differently today and every day to do that. And I told you earlier, I've been walking, every single day for about an hour I walk. And I've not done that before. I am allergic to exercise and movement. And so, I have been choosing to do that. I have the power to choose to do that. And you used to ask us, find your why, and so I found my why, and it's keeping me motivated because I found my why. Why am I going to go out there and get in the Florida sun and walk for an hour every day? Because I've now found my why. So to answer all those questions and a little more, but I do spend too much time doing not productive things. And this has made me aware of it.
Yeah, but that's human nature. And then we also think, well, what's going to motivate me? And this is what brings you back to our why. Like nothing's going to motivate us. But I mean, there's nothing in the world, unless you're dangling some kind of carrot, the infamous carrot, But then how far is that going to go? Once you eat the carrot, there's no more motivation, right? What keeps us motivated? And it's our why, right? What's our why? Figure out what our why is. If you want to stay healthy, your why isn't going to be eating a bag of fucking potato chips all day long. It's going to be walking or trying to, get on a diet or. So once we figure out our why, that's when we can, kind of do all that, accessing those things maybe we don't. And we all have parts of our lives that we can't access. We don't choose to access, if it's exercise, if it's whatever it is, my thinking on this is, as we're talking, the power that I have today is to be more open. I know I'm very open on here. I talk a lot, but sometimes I'm not, sometimes I just kind of close down and just whatever the fuck they're talking about, and whatever it is, I don't understand shit or whatever. But, ask questions, be more open, like ask. It's okay to ask questions. It's not okay to ask a stupid fucking question, right? Which there are some dumb questions out there, but think before you ask those questions, like, but I'm not saying questions are stupid, but just I have to really realize, like, what am I asking? Why am I asking? I'm not saying, why am I asking that question? Is it for me, for my selfish gain, or is it because I want to learn something, And if I can kind of understand that, or if I want to manipulate somebody, good questions asked and manipulate some people, right? I mean, you can ask questions and really kind of manipulate somebody that way. I know in my drinking, I did a lot of that, but today, just be more open to whatever comes across my way, right? And
I think that's a pretty good goal.
Okay with it. Yeah, I mean, it's I'm not saying everything I have to be open to, but just be 3% more open to these things.
Move the needle 3%, right?
That's it. So that was the reflection. The challenge today is ask someone you love, what is one thing you could do today to help improve their lives. So I'm going to challenge everybody out there to just go ask your loved one today, anybody, what is it today that I can help to improve your life? And, mow the grass, a hug, let's sit and read a book. I don't know. If you have a 4-year-old, ask your 4-year-old. I would, that would be really cool. Like,
it would be.
Obviously you're not going to say, how can I improve your life, son, at 4 years old, but there's ways around that. But
yeah, what do you want to do today? What do you want to do today?
Get out of self and go help somebody else. Basically, that's what this is saying. So Bambi, this was a great show. This reading that we talked about, The Power of Choice, is out of 366 fucking days sober. It's April 13th today we read. So if you have any questions about that, or you go back and listen to the commercial, order the book, and then you can read what we just read,
Right.
And then you can read along every week with 9 billion listeners that we have today. So.
Right.
And nobody's on Facebook Live. I mean, do we have any viewers?
No. One, but nobody has chimed in.
Nobody commented. So. Nobody said anything.
It's a lazy Saturday morning for people.
Yeah. I wonder you and I are down south, so I don't know. Maybe the weather up north isn't good, and I don't know, whatever. So, but yeah, challenge. I'm going to give everybody a challenge. Of course, our screenless Sundays are always a challenge. So
minimal screen Sundays.
Minimal screen Sundays.
That way we don't feel like quite a failure when we absolutely can't.
We have to come up with a better name, though.
Yeah,
we'll think about that. Minimal screenless. Sort of screenless Sunday. I don't know.
Yeah, something.
We'll come up with something by then.
Blah, blah, blah. Beth will have a cute little acronym or something for it.
She will, sure. Absolutely. So, and we can also take a trip to Rome, Italy, because that's where the crew for the creative crew is located here for Friends in Recovery. So we could sit in on a board meeting over in Rome, Italy, where the creative crew is. So.
I'm going to book that flight too, right after Hawaii.
That's right. Hawaii, pick up your microphone saying, go out and be creative. Maybe we'll do the show from Rome, Italy next week.
Maybe. Tune in, because you just never know where you're
really there.
Mm-hmm, you never know where your friends may be.
That's right. Dave H is here. He just said, I'm here just listening. All right, Dave, but we're going to go.
Glad you're here now, but we're leaving.
Yeah. Can you turn the lights off for us? Yeah. God. Bambi, thank you for a great show. This is the way it used to be, you and I, right? After, we kind of...
for a while.
Then we ballooned up with a couple people, and we got Beth, and here it is. So back to the basics, guys.
That's
so
right.
Guys, thanks for listening. The power of choice today is yours. You can do what you want with it, but most of all, stay sober, everybody.
This concludes this episode of Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast. Follow us on Facebook for past shows and updates, and enjoy free access to twice daily support meetings. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.